بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
Today our lecture inshallah is going to be about Dhul-Qarnayn. The meaning of Dhul-Qarnayn, the man with two horns mainly. Even in Arabic, Dhul-Qarnayn, anything with Dhu, this is mean has two things at the same time. Before Dhul-Qarnayn was mentioned mainly in Surah Al-Kahf, and we mentioned before Surah Al-Kahf, the ayah of Kahf, the cave, the translation of Kahf mean something deep, and we explained before the dimension of this surah, and all the stories inside the surah has significant meaning, deep meaning, insight meaning, and especially meaning always specialized with very deep science. The first, I'm just gonna flash back. The first story is about the people who went inside the cave. Those people, they stayed around 300 years and a little more. They were running away from a tyrant. It has a meaning because every single destiny or dynasty we call, there's always tyrant, and they're teaching you. Sometimes if you cannot face this tyrant, you should go away in a way just to save yourself. It doesn't mean you have to go inside a cave. And sometimes cave mean like you can always be inside you calm, but outside you won't mention with who you are. This is what I mean by cave. The second story is about Al-Khidr alayhi salam, and we talked about Al-Khidr alayhi salam and what kind of science he hold. And the third one is Dhul-Qarnayn, the man with two horns. If we take a flashback to all the historian and the people who explain the Quran, they really didn't give Dhul-Qarnayn his real meaning. Who is he? Because always, I told you, Khidr alayhi salam and Dhul-Qarnayn, they always kept under a huge mystery. And then the only thing that solved their mystery is our science now. I mean, maybe we solved their mystery, but I think there still has more in it. Into it. Who's Dhul-Qarnayn? Dhul-Qarnayn, I will tell you this information now, like the first time I will say it. You won't find it online, or you can read it or something. Anyway, Dhul-Qarnayn is the cousin of Al-Khidr alayhi salam. Both they were cousins. They were at the same time there. Yeah, they know each other. Dhul-Qarnayn alayhi salam, his real name is not Dhul-Qarnayn. What does it mean by Dhul-Qarnayn? Is a man with two horns. But let's take, without reading too much history and without go deep in a lost, what we can say, we lost. We could take, let's say, why the sword of Imam Ali called Zulfiqar. Why? Because it has two at the end, like two swords together. And then Zulfiqar. What was significant about Zulfiqar? Now I'm gonna mention one of the secrets about Zulfiqar. Zulfiqar, it's two swords at the same time, right? At the end of Imam Ali's sword, there's two swords at the same time going out. Why? Why we never ask this kind of questions? The first one is when he fight the humans. When there's a battle with the human, the first sword will go for the human. And the second one goes for different type of creatures. Because Imam Ali alayhi salam, he was imam for al-jinn and al-ins. And many different creatures, not just two. So a person who was an imam, and even the sword of Imam Ali, it's a big symbol. It symbolizes how much Imam Ali had authority over how many dimensions, not just human dimension. We always look at his sword as a symbolic. We put it in our houses and it's so beautiful, and Imam Ali was able to hold it. But in reality, it was, if you want to take it as a science, it was very normal. What's so significant about having two swords at the same time connected, and then at the end you will see those two swords? It doesn't do you any good when you go to a fight. It's not gonna do you anything if you have a two sword at the end. But the reality is, this sword came from Jibreel alayhi salam as an authority from Allah Azza wa Jal, that he hold authority over two words, al-jinn wal-ins. That's why human being and jinn, yani the spirit's word and stuff like this. So Dhul-Qarnayn is like Zulfiqar. You know what I mean? A person who has authority over two things. This is we're gonna establish it by logic. Why? Because historians and even many narration are very kept this man under secrecy. But we need to connect many things together just to bring him, to give the right light, and to unveil this secrecy and this mysterious things about Dhul-Qarnayn. Okay, now from his name we established that this guy, he has authority over two dimensions. The first dimension is the human dimension. The second one is the who we don't know yet, the jinn. Why he need the authority over the jinn? We will see later during the story what's the authority over who the second dimension is. During his time, they had a high knowledge. Like for example, they were able to know where the stars are. They will be able to see their secrets. They will be able to see, even to the point that they were searching for the water, the fountain of youth. They were searching for the fountain of youth during his time, and because of him, Al-Khidr alayhi salam, he drank from the fountain of youth. This is one of the connection why Al-Khidr alayhi salam, he found the fountain of youth. What happened is, Dhul-Qarnayn, he was a king, and this king, he had around him many wise people. Wisdom was in its peak and during his time. I told you before, we have now a wrong definition for what wisdom means. Now, let's say some people, they say, are you wise? You'll say yes. How did you learn wisdom? You'll say from the channel of wisdom, or you go to YouTube, you find someone talking to you about wisdom. But reality, wisdom is not just you always think about saying no, or be careful, or how we find wisdom is very boring sometimes. Like when you see an old man, you see he's boring. He keep telling you about how to be careful in life. Do not trust your friend. Do not trust your wife. Do not trust anybody. Do not trust the government. And you consider him, he's a wise. Why? Because he's always thinking about deep stuff. But in reality, this is not wisdom. This is a small part of wisdom, if it's right. If it has the right definition. The right wisdom, the definition of right wisdom is when you use everything around you to heal you, or to heal the people around you. Let's say Luqman al-Hakim, he's mentioned in the Quran. He was one of the wisest people ever. For sure, Imam Ali and Nabi Muhammad first, always, and then after that, Luqman al-Hakim. He was, let's say, he had the water over here, water, and from water he will be able to heal people. Let's say Luqman al-Hakim, he lived now, and someone, let's say he has a cancer, he would go visit him, and then he will use just a regular water to heal him. To that point, why? Because he discovered the significant things in matter. He discovered the smallest particles that develop this universe, and he was able to control it. Because I told you before, everything connected to one source. All connected to one source. Okay, so during his time, there was many wise people around him, and those wise people always they want to acquire knowledge. They want to go to the smallest, the deepest secrets, and then they discovered, for sure, water has a significance of bringing things alive, right? Because when you take water, you let's say you want to plant something, you put the seeds, the seed wait water for it to go alive, right? So during the discovering this inside the science of wisdom, they said, for sure, this type of water that we have now, for it to give the life for a seed, it has to have something higher, not just give it a life. If someone even dead, it will give him a life and will keep him always. And the science of those wise people, the wisdom, reached that certain point. It is like now what we consider them. Let's say with physics now, Einstein or whoever is, they reach certain level of in physics to discover the nuclear bomb. During that time, they reach certain level in science of wisdom to reach that there is something in matter that if you find it, the fountain of youth, it will always give you life. What happened is Dhul-Qarnayn, because he was a wise, he was a king, at the same time what? He was a prophet. And subhanAllah, Allah Azza wa Jal, He gave him the prophecy too at the same time. But He did not mention it here. He was a special type of prophet. Same thing like Khudr. Many people, they say Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam, he is the last prophet, right? So nobody should be after him as a prophet. But what happened if Isa alayhi salam come down? Then there's a prophet on earth. How this is gonna happen? You see, so Musa, عفوا, Isa alayhi salam, Jesus يعني, and Al-Khidr alayhi salam, and Dhul-Qarnayn and Idris, they have a special type of cases that neither they were prophet, neither they were king, between. You don't really know where they are. And subhanallah, Allah Azza wa Jal, He asks us about what we do. We cannot ask Him why we're doing this, because He can do whatever He wants, but for sure and justly and in a right way, because it will benefit us. Actually, His story inside the Quran will unveil a new science that nobody ever touched yet, except in science fictions. I will mention how. Okay, we continue. Al-Khidr alayhi salam, he gathered all the close people around him, and he gathered one of the close people, he was Al-Khidr alayhi salam. He was his cousin. So what happened is those wise people, they told him, let's go to the North Pole. And since the North Pole is where the Earth stand, the stand from North Pole and South Pole, they found significant thing about North Pole. I don't know really what is it, but they decide to go there, and they want to open something there. It will make them find the water, this fountain of youth. Why? Since all the water is what's happening now in a nice North Pole. There's water there, right? It's melting, but this water is very pure. So they want to find the purest water on earth, that it's been there for maybe 20,000 years, 30, maybe 1 billion years, and it's there as a stones. Yani all the water that gave life to earth, subhanallah, look how they're thinking. It is there preserved as what? As ice, because it's preserved there. So it's untouched, it's pure yet. So they decide to go there and search for fountain of youth over there. They might find water, they might find some block of ice, they melt it, whatever it is. We'll discover that later. So he took all those wise people and all the technology they had. They had high technology. Let me tell you something. Do not believe now we are the most advanced people. It's really fake. There were people before us. They were so advanced. They were so smart. They transferred many things that you cannot believe to many things you cannot believe. Let's say one of the stories you won't hear about, maybe 15 years ago, inside the sea, they discovered a human skeleton. But this skeleton, it was like a statue, you call it, art. What they happen is they mixed two elements that impossible for us even to melt. They mixed the titanium with the jewelry that we wear, the diamond with titanium together. They mixed. Till this moment, we're unable to cut the diamond except by high cut laser and many high technology. Those people were able to melt the diamond. How can you melt a diamond? And then melt the titanium, and not just that, connect them both to become different matter. So look what kind of technology they had. And not just that, they shaped it as what? As a human skeleton. Yeah, till this moment, we're even unable to imagine how you can connect diamond with titanium to become one matter. It's impossible. It's like you're saying you're making water solid and connecting it with gas, and it's flying. This is the same thing like now. If you want to do it, it's almost impossible. If someone studies science, saying what's the bonding, what's exactly bonding those two together. So they discover the meaning of bond. This kind of technology they had. So for you to imagine what kind of equipment they have something we don't have now yet. Okay, so what happened? They went to the North Pole, and then those wise people, they were able to open a place, open from a place. I don't want to mention it now. Maybe in the future, inshallah. But with special type of technology, they will open the antimatter of Earth. They will know that Earth has antimatter, and then not just that, they were able to open it like a cave, inside like a wormhole, and then inside this cave 300 people. Why? Because there's 300 type of water on earth now. They were able to know how many type of water that we have now. Our water system on earth has 300 type that make things survive. So this water come from the antimatter place that it is in the North Pole. Look to what kind. Those people, they spend maybe 200, 300 years analyzing every single fruit maybe, or every single water. They take it from different places to know that there's only 300 type. Yeah, they took their time researching and to know what's exactly going on. And Dhul-Qarnayn, he was the person who was going to establish those people's dream to know, to see them alive, this type of water, this type of fountains. So what happened is, Dhul-Qarnayn, he gave to every one of those people a dead fish. He said, if you put it inside the water, this dead fish will become alive. So I'm gonna open this wormhole for you with this special technology. I know some people, they're gonna think I'm crazy saying that, but I'll show you proofs from the Quran, inshallah. So I'm gonna open this wormhole. You're gonna go inside, 300 people, and then each one of you, he's gonna stand next to the fountain. He will drop the fish inside, and then if the fish come alive, then this is the fountain of you. Immediately, will bring me some water. I want to drink from it. Because why? Because mainly he doesn't want to use it for power. He want to use it because let's say he had something, so he want to be so close to Allah to the point that he want to live all his life worshiping Allah Azza wa Jal. This was his main dream, and he did all this because he want to spend all the rest of his life till Yawm al-Qiyamah worshiping Allah Azza wa Jal. Look what kind of iman he has, this man. Anyway, so what happened now? Those 300 people, they went inside the antimatter. For us to go inside antimatter will vanish immediately. Why? Because you cannot go inside yourself, inside your dimension. If you do it, it will be like huge explosion. It's impossible for us now to do it. But we're able to bring some antimatter particles to our world now. But this particle cannot touch anything. It cannot touch with anything. It always has to stay flying. So by the technology they had, they were able to send those men to that world. I don't know what they wore exactly. They wore something. Anyway, they went inside the antimatter place, and exactly they found 300 fountains, because the research said they have to have 300 type of water that give life to earth. So they found 300 fountains. So randomly, each one of those guys went to one fountain. And Al-Khidr alayhi salam, he went inside, but while he was going inside this wormhole, he lost his fish. He dropped it someplace and he couldn't find it anymore. So what he need to do now? He need to try it himself, the fountain of youth. He cannot bring any fish because he doesn't have anything to experience on. Anyway, those people, they stood next to 300 fountain, and then each one they drop his fish, and then nothing happened. So he was the guy that everyone looking like, where's the fountain of youth? There's no fountain of youth. Maybe those people were mistaken. So Al-Khidr alayhi salam, what he thought is that, let me go myself inside it. I'll try it. I need to give answers for the king. So because he sent me and he trusted me with this matter. So he went inside swimming. Inside what turned out later to be the fountain of youth. And to that point, and let's say, let me give you proof that Dhul-Qarnayn, he was not greedy about him be alive, worshipping Allah Azza wa Jal. Because when they all returned, every one of them, they said, I put the fish and nothing happened to it, and they got it back, except Al-Khidr alayhi salam. He said, where's your fish? He said, when I was going inside, I lost it. And all the people, they didn't lose their fish, and their fish still dead. So he's the only person that he lost his fish, but what happened? He himself went inside the water. So he said, did you go into this water? He said, yes. He said, then I wasn't the guy who Allah Azza wa Jal meant by to stay always alive. You are the one. And you're gonna spend the rest of your life worshipping Allah Azza wa Jal for this reason. So they decide after that to close everything and go back. But Allah Azza wa Jal gave him something, because look how sincere he was. Because if he said, if I was Allah Azza wa Jal, he meant me by this, then I would drink from this water, but he didn't meant me, he meant someone else. So Allah Azza wa Jal, He used Dhul-Qarnayn for what? For the Khidr alayhi salam. Subhanallah, you see, I told you, it's not what you always choose, it's what Allah Azza wa Jal chooses for you. Because let's say Dhul-Qarnayn, maybe if he lived that much, maybe he won't be a good man. Let's say that, maybe. But Al-Khidr alayhi salam, he was the one prepared for that. You put yourself there, and if Allah Azza wa Jal accepted you, then you continue. If He didn't accept you, He will choose something else for you, because you put your heart there, really sincerely. If you put your heart there, Allah Azza wa Jal, He's gonna always use it. Not your way. Maybe your way it will go, but sometimes not your way, His way, because it will be better for you. So what happened now? We read the Quran. We'll say وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنْ ذُو الْقَرْنَيْنِ قُلْ سَأَتْلُو عَلَيْكُمْ مِنْهُ ذِكْرًا. People came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and they asked him about Dhul-Qarnayn. He said, okay, I'm gonna tell you something about him. And some people, they have the wisdom. Still, I told you, it was a secret passed between generation and generation, but Allah Azza wa Jal, He wants us to know about him too. It's not just a secret thing, because he will be from his story, something big gonna happen before the Zuhur Imam al-Mahdi alayhi salam. Because he's affecting our nation. I told you, there's many prophets, many people who worship, who's serving Allah Azza wa Jal. We don't really know about. Maybe there's some people like Al-Khidr alayhi salam, but we don't really know about. Why? Because they're not gonna be interacting with our nation. All the people Allah Azza wa Jal mentioned in the Quran, they have a purpose for us to survive, or as protection for us. Let's say why Al-Khidr alayhi salam, he's the one who's serving Imam Mahdi, and he is the one who is teaching the 313 how to deal with Imam Mahdi when he comes. He has his own message, and he's the friend of Imam Mahdi, and he's the servant of Imam Mahdi, because he has his message. Let's say Allah Azza wa Jal, He created someone else like Al-Khidr, but He's not gonna be interfering with Islam or Muslims. Maybe he's in different dimension. So Allah Azza wa Jal, He's not gonna mention him in the Quran. He always mention the one who are they're gonna be relevant to your nation. So Dhul-Qarnayn, you ask me now why Dhul-Qarnayn? Because from Dhul-Qarnayn, what he did, he protected humanity till this point, till this moment. I'll show you how by reading the Quran. Okay. And then Allah, He will say, إِنَّا مَكَّنَّا لَهُ فِي الْأَرْضِ وَآتَيْنَاهُ مِنْ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ سَبَبًا. And then we gave him power in earth, and we gave him from everything a reason. Like a reasoning. Subhanallah Azza wa Jalla. From this verse, you will say, He gave him many things. Many things. Why? Because it's gonna affect us later.
He gave him many things, not just being a king.
Not just being king. Why? Wisdom, one of the things that He gave him. Power, knowledge, science, even going between dimension. We will see how. Okay. And then immediately He said فَاتَّبَعَ سَبَبًا. Yani he followed the reasons. I just gave you an example a little bit ago. I said the bird, what's the hand, where the hand are for the bird? His hands. Does he have hands, bird? No, he doesn't have hands. But he does actually. Why? Because I told you, we always measure things from the human perspective. Let's say our hands are connected here, so if the bird doesn't have hands, then the same way we are, like symbolize, like small hands there, then he's not gonna have hands. But in reality, no. In reality, Allah Azza wa Jal, He give you the definition of hands. Hands, what we define hand by? The things that help you. The bird, he have hands. It's inside his mouth. Yeah, speak. Yeah, over here. Why? Because he's from here. He give the food for his kids. He build his nest. So he used this as a hand. So where is the hand? Is over here. So it doesn't have to be in our hand. So we always have, when we read the Quran, or when we look at the space, or you need to go outside your box. So the message of Allah Azza wa Jal doesn't have to be words. I will give the example. Let's say I want to go outside. I feel like something is not right. I want to go outside. The door is like locked, and I want to open it hard. I say maybe that's a message from Allah Azza wa Jal. Allah Azza wa Jal, let's say He used the door, telling me like don't go outside. So that's a message. He doesn't have to say, like with a nice voice, or echo and all this. Muhammad, don't go outside, it's gonna be bad for you, and then I'll believe it. No, it's sometimes the message behind that. So he didn't use the voice. So, but he talked to you, right? So this is his way of interacting with you. It doesn't have to be always with voice. So same thing over here, saying فَاتَّبَعَ سَبَبًا. Then he followed his reasons. There's a reasons, maybe his science, his wisdom. He's following the reasons behind that. Yani Allah Azza wa Jal, it's like indirectly, He's showing him something to do. You see? And then he continued. حتى إذا بلغ مغرب الشمس وجدها تغرب في عين الحمية. And then when he reached the sun going into sunset, he's seen it going into a red place. هلا if we see here, what is it exactly, red place? Now if we know the earth is round, so if it go from here, it will go to different place, to different continent. But over here he's saying it's going to different place completely. So what's happening is he opened a place from the sun where exactly it's going. There's a certain time a day you can use it to go open this wormhole. Wormhole. Okay. You cannot open the wormhole at night. You can open it a certain place when the sun is going down. If you go to Surah Al-Isra, سبحان الذي أسرى بعبده ليلا من المسجد الحرام إلى المسجد الأقصى. Surah Al-Isra, he's Allah Azza wa Jal, when he took Prophet Muhammad from a place to a place, he didn't take him at the morning. He took him in specific time, right? But that time was night. This one before night, because if you wanna pass between earth and the heavens, you have to go at night. If you wanna pass between earth and different dimension, you have to go when the sun is going down, because it has effect with something called neutrinos. If you study like a little bit more physics, you'll find till this moment people they don't really know what neutrinos are doing, but in reality it has a main impact of all the keeping the dimension attacked. Okay, so he was dealing with neutrinos that time, Dhul-Qarnayn, because it's the sun is going into sunset. Anyway, so he inside this story, you will see that he went to a place as from that wormhole, and then he found the people that they can't do anything, and then over there, it's like they're very lazy. They're very like limited in their heads, and different people they give them hard time. Over here, they're saying he's talking about Ya'juj and Ma'juj, Gog and Maggog. There's a different people. So all the narration, all the people who do the Quran, they explain the Quran, they always talk about Gog and Maggog. People are hiding in China, or some people are hiding in India, or some people are hiding in some place on earth and nobody found them yet. And those people, they're so powerful that they're gonna come and they're gonna go to Buhair al-Tabaraya. It's close. Buhair al-Tabaraya, it's a lake between Jordan, Palestine, and Egypt. They're gonna drink it all. Can you be able to drink a whole lake immediately? You have to be 1 million person to drink all this immediately. So are those people are like us or different people? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, one of the narration, he said, Gog and Magog are not from Adam alayhi salam. So they are different creatures. And then he mentioned them by they have big ears. Their ears are from their head down. All their ears are very big that they sleep inside it. Like for example, when they gonna sleep, he put the first ear down and then he sleep on it and then he cover himself with the second ear. Yeah, he's like a egg. He will become like an egg from their ears. So those people are from different dimension. Why they have big ears? Because they live very long. They become like, for example, a human being now, if he live, let's say he be reached like 100 years.
Old man, they have
Big ears. Why? Because always ear, they never stop growing. They always continuously grow. This is a human thing. Like let's say when someone grow older and older, his ears will become bigger. Those people, their ears, because they live so long, their ears become so big that they sleep in it and they cover themselves with it. And but they have certain type of technology. And Dhul-Qarnayn alayhi salam, he made something that he blocked them from going here, from going to the first dimension, that for those weak people, and then he protected us too at the same time. Can someone believe that some human did interact with spaceships? I mean, with different creatures? I'm not gonna talk now science fiction. How did we know about how to build the pyramids? How did we know about how to build this kind of high technology stuff? There's many evidence that humanity did interfere with some type of aliens. It interact with them, and and some of them they are connected with some type of alien. It's not that doesn't mean like sometimes like some people they're smoking and then they're gonna think we're doing something, we're saying something bad. Yeah, the reality is Allah Azza wa Jal. If you look around you, you find only Earth, and then there's billions of stars around you. Do you think you're only alone here? No, not true. But you don't really need to look to all those stars. All those creatures are here. Here in what way? In the sama, they have layers of dimensions. They're over here, all of them. What's my proof? I'm gonna tell you my proof now. Over here, Dhul-Qarnayn is saying, "Atuni zubur al-hadid hatta usawi bayna as-sadafayn." Now, when you use your computer charger or your laptop or whatever it is, what is it exactly that produces magnetic field? What do you use to produce certain type of magnetic field? You use the adapter, right? Okay, inside this adapter, what is it exactly in it? A pieces of hadid connecting with nhas, right? Nhas is copper. Okay, you to create a magnetic field. Okay, the way he's saying this in the Quran, he's talking after 95. It's 96.
What is he saying?
96.
What is he saying?
He's saying آتوني زبر الحديد حتى أساوي بين الصدفين قالوا انفخوا حتى إذا جعلناه نارا قال ائتوني أفرغ عليه قطرة. يعني he's over here he's saying, bring me this type of metal. They put it inside a jar and then they heated it, and then they make it in specific shapes, and after that they put certain type of thing as isolators between those two. If you want to see that how our adapters that we use from electric field, they make electromagnetic field. What's happening is you put the first plate, and then al-qatar, what we call it now, if you open like any generator or anything, you see it's isolated by clear isolation, like it's like a qatar, you know when you put the qatar for when you eat a sweet, you know how does it look like? It's a clear one, transparent, right? Okay, it's same thing over here. He is isolated with this type of qatar, and then he put the second type of metal, and then he covered it with isolation, and then he put the third one, he covered with isolation, so and so and so and so. Why all this? Because he creating a certain type of machine that is creating an electromagnetic field that is closing the hole that Gog and Maggog is using to go through the wormhole. Okay. Yeah. Over here, some people they use this ayah. They're saying, "Oh, he built a certain type of sad, like because he want to keep them away." But these days, what do you mean sad? They can fly. They can go over, and they can. Why we always want to keep ourselves limited? Al-Quran over here in this ayah, he's talking about how to create electromagnetic field that can close a wormhole. In this ayah, if you really go into it more and more, I can explain every letter here that it's showing you that it's talking about an electromagnetic field machine. With this one, why he's gonna mention how exactly? I can show you. I mean, I can, if you want next time, bring an adapter, and I'll show you how is it isolated piece by layer, exactly like the Quran saying. And then all this is creating electromagnetic field. Okay, something very important. How this machine is taking its force from what?
North and South Pole.
From north. That's why they choose the North Pole. North Pole is where all the electromagnetic field going. So this electromagnetic field is going inside this machine, is creating certain type of electricity or energy, and this is given all the electromagnetic field the right vibration to close the wormhole for the Gog and
To
Maggog.
keep Gog and Maggog out.
Okay, what's gonna happen if the electromagnetic, our Earth will flip?
It'll open.
That has to do with the reappearance.
It'll open.
Yeah.
So all
But-
these creatures will come into our dimension?
Every year, Earth shift 2 miles from its equator. Every year, and the scientists they're
2
saying
miles?
2 miles. Yeah.
It's a lot.
2 miles or inches?
No, 2 miles.
It's a lot.
No, it's not a lot for Earth. Earth is yeah.
بس إنه يعني doesn't take long ساعتها to be completely flipped.
No, it will take. If you're thinking it's gonna take all the Earth like this, no, it's gonna take billions of years because Earth is like I don't know how many thousands of miles, maybe millions of miles. But I'm saying, scientists they're saying Earth might flip. It's the North Pole will become south, and south will become north.
Doesn't that have to do with the reappearance?
Yes.
That's why the sun rises in the west and not
Exactly.
the east?
Exactly.
That's what you told
Yes.
us.
Inshallah, we'll talk about this. So scientists are saying soon, maybe from 5 to 6 years, it's gonna shift. So shifting that is gonna make this machine not work anymore. And then one of the signs of reappearance for Imam Mahdi is Gog and Magog will go inside Earth.
So we'll see them?
Yeah, we'll see them. They go inside Earth and they go directly to Buhair Tabariya, the lake of Tabariya I just mentioned. And those people, the first thing they're gonna drink from that water.
Why?
Because it has a secret. It has a secret for them.
For them to live forever? Well, that's something else.
No, something else.
We don't know.
We don't know yet. Okay, but who's gonna be ready for them?
The imam.
Yeah, you see what I mean? So Imam Mahdi alayhi salam, he's not gonna be just important. Do you think Imam Mahdi is gonna come just fight the evil people that live inside Middle East? No. There's all the Quran here. He mentioned Samud, Qawm Samud, Qawm Lut, Qawm Aad, Qawm, many people, and he mentioned Gog and Magog inside too. Those people are the people Imam Mahdi is gonna fight too.
So they're
Yeah.
still around too?
Yeah, those
The
people.
from Thamud or Aad or all?
Yeah, they're still alive. It's not like when we say
Their
One-
system is alive.
when we talk about we say Imam Mahdi, please take revenge for killing Imam Hussein. Yazid he died, and all the people who killed Imam
The
Hussein
system
they
of
died.
the Yazid.
The system of Yazid, the system. Look how many of Yazids we have now. Yeah, the main system that the Taghut, the devil he created.
The oppressors.
The oppressors. And those people, Ya'juj and Ma'juj, are the people who is going to help the shaitan, the devil, against Imam Mahdi. You know what I mean? There's like a treaties between them. Between these ones.
Alliances.
Yes. Because the devil mainly, he want to hurt earth, so he went there to different dimension to bring those people here. And this is from his knowledge. And over here, with Dhul-Qarnayn, what he did exactly, Allah Azza wa Jal sent him for this message to save humanity to the point that we are strong enough to fight them back.
This is a mercy from my Lord.
Yeah, this is the mercy from Allah Azza wa Jal. So, maybe Nabi Isa will take care of him, maybe he will make him die, I don't know. But for sure, that's why I told you before, Imam Mahdi, he does not want people always to worship 24/7 Allah Azza wa Jal, and then they don't really know anything. He's looking for specialties. He's looking for engineers. He's looking for doctors. He's looking
Nurses?
for nurses maybe.
He's in nursing school.
Yeah, he's looking for all type of science. When we come and say Imam Mahdi, all the science gonna come. Yes, it's gonna come, but after what? After he completely win over and take over the earth.
Oh, that's when we'll have all the signs.
Yes, that's where exactly. That's all those. From when you dealing with these things, it requires science. He does not want someone. Let's say I give you so much power that when you see someone you don't like, you blow him up. He doesn't want those people. This is how you train yourself. He wants some specialties. He doesn't want people who just worship 24/7. It's very good if you worship 24/7, but it is with specialty. الذين آمنوا والذين أوتوا العلم درجات. The people who believe, and then He will raise the people who believe and the people who gain knowledge. You don't have to go, let's say, some people I sit down all day long in a gas station. Do you think it's not gonna take me? You'll be able to open Quran and learn the science from the Quran. You'll be able to go to any library and keep reading. You don't have to. Imam Mahdi, when he gonna see you, he's not gonna say, "Did you graduate from Ann Arbor?" No, I don't take anybody from Detroit. I take from Ann Arbor only. And then you say, "Ma'am, I'm 3.5." Say, "No, I take 4 only." 4. It doesn't happen this way. It doesn't happen this way. What happens is the more knowledge you acquire. Knowledge means not what you study in a school, not specifically that. For sure, studying in a school, yeah, it's the wisdom. It's connecting everything together. Yeah. So over here, we found out that Dhul-Qarnayn has a huge, big secret, and that's why Allah Azza wa Jalla He mentioned it here. He is telling you, from 1400 years ago, a human being, please be careful of what's coming, and nobody can save you except Imam Mahdi from that. Because really, if there's no Imam Mahdi, those people, when the earth shift, immediately they're gonna kill everyone on earth, everyone. And I'm not saying science fiction now. It is very serious.
It's like the stuff you see in movies.
Yes, it is very serious.
So are they jinn?
No, they're not jinn. They're different
They're
creatures.
just a different creed that we don't
They're
know?
aliens, like we said, aliens. Yeah, they're different creatures. They have high technology. They can go between between different dimensions. This is how they live. So those people, they don't just conquer continents. They conquer universes. They conquer dimension. You see, and Allah Azza wa Jal, He protected us through Dhul-Qarnayn alayhi salam. He had a huge, big message. Why? Because he was so sincere that he gave the worship for Al-Khidr alayhi salam, and he's the one who saved humanity to this
He
point.
made him important to us.
Important to us. And then he mentioned him with 1.5 pages in the Quran, but this 1.5 pages, it holds so much secret that science itself didn't explain yet. And this is the first time ever I explained this, or someone explained this type of thing in science. Yeah, I'm saying not because as a showing off, I'm saying it because we really need to open this subject. Enough saying Dhul-Qarnayn, he was Alexander. Enough, that's. I'm sorry to say, Alexander, he was a criminal. Allah Azza wa Jalla, He's not gonna mention a criminal here. Enough saying he was someone in Iraq.
Some people say that he's
Alexander, yeah, the great. Yeah. Some people.
Cyrus.
Yeah, Cyrus or whoever it is, he's not. He wasn't all those people. The name of Dhul-Qarnayn, not because he had a helmet that has 2 horns, no. Because same thing like Dhul-Fiqar, I told you. A place that connecting 2 dimensions. And Dhul-Qarnayn, he was a person that, he was a king here and he was a king in that dimension. He saved 2 places. But the problem is, if we don't know about what's going on with him, what's gonna happen. And I have more scientific evidence how we can see the place that he did. There's few things happened in 1970 with some scientists, but they thought it's specifically alien's spaceship or something. It wasn't alien spaceship. Actually, it was the machine that Dhul-Qarnayn built himself to protect Earth. Yeah.
And that's
to repel those people, Gog and Maggog, from entering
They
Earth.
found it in the 70s, you're saying?
No, certain type of research, they didn't know that they found it, but when you read it, and you know of the story about Gog and Maggog, and you know exactly where did he go and all the specific points, because that story for those 2 scientists, they were close to the North Pole around that time, when the sun's going down, and something happened, but they didn't really know it was something huge. They thought it's a spaceship and they left. Actually, it wasn't spaceship. It was the machine that Dhul-Qarnayn did with his science, with his wisdom.
So that machine still exists?
Still, till this moment, this machine
It's a
protects us.
physical machine, Raj?
Yes, it's a physical machine that go between our dimension and with dimension. With special equipment, special science, we'll be able to see it. Only special equipment, special time, special equipment, special science will be able to see it. And one of the secrets how you can see it, I don't want to mention how, but let's say if you go No, you know, like keep it. Maybe in the future, inshallah, we'll talk about it. Any questions or?
Well, you know, we have a question since you said that.
No, I don't.
No, so in the next verse, he said, this is a mercy from my Lord.
Yeah.
But when the promise of my Lord cometh to pass, he will lay it low, for the promise of my Lord is true. Is that the promise of the imam?
No, you see, you mentioned very good. He mentioned the ayah, this ayah over here. He said, قال هذا رحمة من ربي إذا جاء وعد ربي جعله دكا. وجعله, he made it what? Can you
imam.
No. Can you read the verse again?
He said, this is a mercy from my Lord.
Mercy from our Lord to protect humanity.
But when the promise of my Lord cometh to pass, yani when the promise comes,
The promise.
he will lay it low. For
What lay it? What lay what?
It says he will make it into dust.
Yeah, but lay what?
The machine itself.
Yeah, this machine.
Lay it low,
you know,
so you can't see it.
No, lay it low. That means that it's not gonna work
Like he's gonna
anymore.
obliterate it.
Oh.
Is that why in the next one it says?
This is the promise of Allah Azza wa Jal. You see, in this ayah specifically, I forgot to mention it, that he's saying over here, my promise is this one exists, and one day this promise gonna
Yeah, the machine is gonna stop working.
It's gonna stop working because our earth's gonna shift. When this shift, there is no more energy feeding this machine.
And then on that day, we shall let some of them surge against others.
Oh, that's
This
Gog
is
and
like
Maggog
them
surge
coming
against.
in.
And the
Surge-
trumpet
Gog
will
and
be
Maggog
blown.
surge against us.
Yeah, they can. They're saying تركنا بعضهم يموج ببعض. يعني people they're gonna go with other things together.
And then the trumpet will be blown. Then we shall gather
trumpet
them
will be-
together.
The trumpet will be blown as.
Yeah, but
Zuhur,
that's
right?
later. That's after Zuhur Imam Mahdi. That's very after. But one of it, they're gonna go
Man,
inside.
this surah, it makes so much more sense now.
Yeah, they're gonna go inside because the promise of Allah Azza wa Jal to protect you to the point that if you don't want the Imam, you're not gonna be saved. If you're gonna be saved, the little later. And those people, they're gonna be there as spirits. They're not gonna be as bodies.
Who?
Everyone, all the creatures, Allah Azza wa Jal, He created. I told you before, Allah Azza wa Jal, He didn't create a human being only. We are human beings only. But there's many different creatures that they share our spirit. Not specifically my spirit or your spirit. No. They have the same spirit that we have, but in different form.
So they draw their energy from our ruh?
Not our ruh. They have their own ruh too. They have their own spirit. It's
Same
like our
concept.
spirit. Same concept. And when Allah Azza wa Jal, He's gonna gather every single human type or creatures all together, and each one gonna look like what he did as a good deed or bad deed. You see, they're gonna have universal look later. Yani some people now exist in universe as a form of energy. Some people exist as a form of we don't really cannot imagine. But those ones they have physics. They have physical form of maybe some of them they exist as water. All some you cannot imagine. Subhanallah, Allah Azza wa Jalla, He created the best. But all of them, they have like our spirit, the same spirit we share. They have the spirit, and they fighting to get the spirit when in the day of judgment. And all those creatures gonna be Yawm al-Qiyamah there, all of them, with us. So we're building for that. Yeah. Yes. That's basically the secret of Dhul-Qarnayn. I hope.
I finished this surah earlier today, but now
It makes so much more sense.
It makes so much.
Any more questions?
It makes so much more sense.
Yeah. Inshallah, we'll explain it more in the future if we'll be able to bring more proofs to people to know about it يعني more and more. And وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين.
اللهم
صل على محمد